Good evening, KCFL. It's time for our weekly video update, and I've got some bad news. Hair and makeup is off today, and so I look like this, and you're stuck with that. So we are going a little bit off pace. We're here in quarantine at Casa de More, and I'm still giving you your updates. I'm still providing your commissioner report, and here we go. Our division standings stand at 2 teams undefeated, the Tanks and the Fjords, and 2 sad winless teams, the Dogs and the Wolfpack. I have no doubts they will both come roaring back, though. 2 great owners, 2 promising teams, and I'm just not worried. I'm excited to have everyone in the league really just fighting to make the most of this very strange year. We've already seen so many injuries, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. More on that in a few minutes. Let's take a look at a few headlines here around the NFL. You may have noticed that one Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, his fiancée is pregnant. She's going to have her first baby, and someone probably should have told her. She didn't ask me, but Patty is already a daddy. Just ask the Ravens and the Chargers and the Texans, because we own those teams. This week, last week, and week 1, the Chiefs just destroyed everyone. Not news to any of you Chiefs fans out there. And speaking of Chiefs fans, can I get a shout out to Sherman's Tanks, who's basically the Chiefs? I know Phil playing them week 1 told me, how can I root against anyone on his team? He has the defense, he has the quarterback, he has Edwards-Helaire, he has got everybody, Butker. So even my combination of Eckler and Davis getting 56 points could not propel me through Patrick Panzer Mahomes and the Tanks. So I fall to 1-2. Poovy Farms suffered a similarly low-scoring close loss to Rennick's punitive measures, despite Josh Allen, the golden boy of Buffalo, shearing the Rams, and Dobby, the house elf, got his sock and tried to give Chris a chance at redemption on Monday Night Football, but the Chiefs just wasn't giving anybody a chance to do anything. It's been just fabulous to be a Chiefs fan the last few weeks, just as it was last year. And speaking of last year, it's really great to watch them try to run it back. Unlike our previous year's owner, Kyle, poor Kyle, he is running it backward, it seems like, beset with disappointing returns, injuries. The junior Halaru GM has had his share of troubles this season. I can't imagine losing Saquon to an injury. The Wolfpack, on top of that, just couldn't weather the gathering storm of double defensive touchdowns. D-Hop, Derrick Henry, and Pat's Thunder just straight up floored his team in a 95-point rout. Ouch. Pat is one to be reckoned with this year. Watch out for the Thunder. This week, we've got some great matchups, and I'll point to them right here. As I'm learning to do this video thing, I've left an actual space here for doing content. So this is the content box, covering up my mini participation trophies from paying for 5K, 10K, half marathon entries that I somehow hobbled across the finish line at. So this week's matchups are here. We'll get back to those in just a minute. Before we do, if you're struggling to figure out what to do with the dregs of your team, I'd like to report back to our man in the field, Ed Moore, who has our bench report. Ed, what have you got?
Fumblerooski news. Week 3 of the 2020 football season has come to an end, and I have only one thing to say. Son of a bench. In the movie Forrest Gump, a simpleton billionaire sits on a bench gorging himself on a box of chocolates while recounting his disgustingly lucky existence to strangers. Does the bench represent luck or wisdom? Or perhaps it's an oasis in the desert of life that brings strangers together through folksy conversation? When it comes to fantasy football, I'd like to think the bench is a box of chocolates. But this box of chocolates has no caramels, no almond clusters, not even one single pecan delight. No, my friends, this box of chocolates is 100% wretched, foul-tasting nougat. Every single one. Because what I see every week when I look at my bench isn't irrelevant third-string mediocrity. I see points. Lots of points. Points that could have been. Points that should have been. Points that would have made the difference between my usual weekly ugly cry in the shower or a booty-shaking victory dance. And I would really like to have a lower water bill. For now, let's take a moment of silence in memory of this week's fantasy football bench and all those long-lost points. In the arms of an angel, fly away. I want to leave you all with some wisdom given to me by my great Uncle Roger. If you ever find yourself without a friend in the world, don't worry. Just go to the grocery store and take off all your clothes. You may just find what you're looking for. See you next week.
And I don't know how I'm supposed to top that every week from here on out. I just expect there's going to be gold raining from the skies, and you are going to come at us with that premium content. Mash that like button, by the way. That's the thing you're supposed to say in YouTube videos. I don't know. Ask your kids. The divisions are shaping up in an interesting fashion, a perfect bell curve, Gaussian distribution at its finest. We've got Sherman's Tank atop the center of division. Even though, man, I was coming for you, Sherms. I was coming for you. If the Chiefs' defense hadn't been so good, T-Jack would have been in there with the garbage time touchdowns like Bortles last year. It would have been beautiful. Saigon Jesus is on your heels in the division, as are the Dirty Deeds, who got wronged this week. They're coming back. Watch out. And Snot Rockets and I are holding up the bottom right over those Chicago Dogs, who are much, much better than that 0-3 record. I have nothing to apologize to them for this week. In the Dawson division, our Fjordy Niners are dreaming of seasons past, those trophies that are rusting somewhere, even though they are images in CBS's database. They're calling to Eric, and he says, "Be still. I'll give you some company soon." He wants that championship this year, that Scott Squires trophy, which, by the way, is right here. Kyle, come get your trophy. Come enjoy it, man. I Cloroxed it. It's clean. She's good. Thunder and Poovy holding on in second and third place there with a tie, and Grief Bacon Express and Punitive Measures in the rear. And Kyle, I know he's going to come rearing back. I'm not concerned about that. It's painful, but he is out there working the waiver wire, making those bids, and trying to play his best. Remember, this week, well, before I go on to that, I should say that our power rankings have Dave on the top still. He may have lost this week, but it's him, Fjord, Thunder, Tyson, and then Sherms in that order of our top five. Now, you may not trust everything CBS puts out, but that's their power rankings, and I got to be honest. If you're talking about points distributed, margin of victory, it doesn't get much bigger than what Dave did last week, even though Pat tried with that 95-point win over Kyle this week. It is a fearsome 5, so watch out on our schedule. We've got the Deeds, the Rockets. We got Grenades against Saigon Jesus. One-man Wolfpack at Punitive Measures. Poovy Farms facing the Fjords. Grief Bacon is going to have to check out the Thunder. And those Chicago Dogs are going up against the Tanks. The bench report for this week has been brought to you by someone interesting. I don't know. Look right here. I made a joke. And other than that, remember, I have made IR adjustments. Every team has been given a gift, 2 IR spots, because COVID has torn apart a small part of the league. Titans, Vikings, and Steelers are all potentially kind of on the skids this week as they miss some practice, miss some time. Please read your commissioner memos and check the page. Later on in the week, we'll know if that game's going to happen, and I'll try to respond in any way CBS lets me and any way you guys would like. But for now, make your bids and field the best team. And if that COVID little mini outbreak is any reminder, please wear your masks and protect Patrick Mahomes. Did I say Pat? It's Patrick for sure. I don't want to make his mom upset. All right. KCFL, it's been an awesome 3 weeks. Let's make it another great week to be an owner in this KCFL. Get out there and make your team win. And remember, mustard does not go on hot dogs.